Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. I hereby call the Elections and Campaign Finance Subcommittee to order. Clerk, please open the roll. And please announce that you're here on the board. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Do any members have any personal orders before we begin? Seeing none, we have 5 bills on our calendar today. First up is item number 1, HB 2045 by the esteemed Mr. Pat March. We have a motion and a second on the bill. Please see, you have no amendments, correct?
No amendments.
All right, tell us about your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This HB 2045 allows candidates and office holders to use campaign funds for residential security expenses up to $12,000 a year. Allows the use of campaign funds for security, recognizing that public officials and candidates may face heightened safety risks due to their public roles. That's basically all it does. It doesn't spend any state money. You can spend your campaign funds for new security systems.
So is this security systems as well as if there's a particular incident like you've been threatened, you can also hire security at your house temporarily? Or is it just for security around your house like alarms?
Security expenses, what it says.
Okay, any security expenses, okay. Do I have any questions on the bill? We have one, Mr. Bricken.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sponsor, is this retroactive?
No, it's for new security systems.
Well,
If you have, way it's been explained to me, if you have a system in now, you can add to that, but the ones you've already got, that's on you. The additional, or I guess if you upgrade, you could spend it on that.
And just a curiosity, where did 12,000 come from?
$1,000 a month,
All right.
the way I got it.
All right, Mr. Moon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Smith & Wesson is in my county. So the latest model of a Smith & Wesson, would that be a security?
It would be in my books. I don't know. We'll have to ask Doug Hines about it if it qualifies.
Thank you, sponsor, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions of Mr. Leatherwood?
Yes. And I would assume these expenses would be reported on financial disclosures and have to be documented just like all other expenses.
Yes.
Correct. You have to have all kind of documentation and keep them in case you're auditing.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, any objections? We'll be voting on HB 2045. Clerk, please, I guess, take the vote. Please record your votes. Madam Clerk, count the votes. Close the voting.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes and 0 noes.
Bill passes on to State and Local 4.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members.
Next is item number 2, HB 1513 by Leader Zachary.
Motion.
We have a motion and second on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
Please tell us about your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, in the world of AI, this piece of legislation simply protects the integrity of political ads. If any entity falsely depicts a real candidate's speech or actions, it simply requires a disclosure at the beginning and the end, audio and video. And with that, Mr. Chairman, one more thing, Mr. Chairman, Verizon and Comcast had come to me with a small change they'd like to make, just a revision in some wording, and we agreed to do that in the full committee if this committee chooses to pass this bill, and then if the full committee chooses to put that on. But with that explanation, I'm glad to answer any questions.
Mr. Powell.
Thank you, and I appreciate the bill and certainly understand the need for it. So currently, if we pass this, I guess my question is, currently, would there be any prohibition against the use of deepfakes? My only concern here is that this might unknowingly encourage people to use a deep fake and just simply have this disclaimer?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, this doesn't prohibit the deep fake. If they use a deep fake, they have to provide the notification on the ad, but it doesn't prohibit the deep fake of a political ad.
Mr. Powell?
Okay. And I might see you before if this advances, just to discuss that. My only concern here is I would hate to see any use of a deepfake image. As you know, this could totally get out of hand, and people could use deepfakes, and that could be used in a way that even with this disclaimer, I think could really harm candidates. So appreciate the bill. Just my only intent is, are we unknowingly allowing these deepfakes to proliferate in our campaigns?
Mr. Zachary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And so it's actually currently going on now. And without going into too much detail, Chairman Massey, it was actually used against her in something that was very inappropriate. So it's being used now. But if this had been in place, they would have had to put the disclosure on that. So, I mean, it is a broader conversation. And I think we're probably going to have to address this, those of us that are back over the next couple of years, as AI continues to move forward and becomes even more mainstream than it is today. So, man, I'm with you completely. This is a first step, but definitely more conversations. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Bricken?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Leader, I certainly fully support your bill. When they came to my office to talk about this bill, the only thing that bothered me was how the disclosure would be on any advertisement or whatever. They said it'd be all bold print, but they didn't say what the size of it would be. And after they left, I went online, and I didn't know AI had an emoji. It's 3 stars with an AI. But and again, down the road, what we discussed was like in the movie industry, having an X-rated or something that would be clear on any advertisement that would put the emoji and put like language or audio or video that says what component of that AI or that advertisement was generated by AI. So just as this bill progresses, I don't know if it might have to come back sometime, but somewhere I think there should be a universal identity for any content that's publicized that's generated by AI. So,
Any further comments? I would advise, I think, Mr. Powell, wasn't it Representative Hemmer that ran a bill, did an in-depth research on this, and as well as Johnny Garrett, you might get with them because they did in-depth research last year on it. So, do I have any other questions? If not, any objections to voting on the bill? Seeing none, we will be voting on HB 1513. Clerk, please open the vote. Please cast your vote. Please close the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes and 0 noes.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And your bill passes out to state and local full.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee.
Next up is HB 1497 by Subcommittee. He has requested to roll this to the next calendar. Next up is HB 1921 by Representative Miller. Is he in the room? He had talked to me earlier. I don't know what he's going to do, so we will roll this to the next available calendar. Number 5, HB 1159 by Lynn, and she is here. We have a motion. We have a second on the bill. Let's see, you have several amendments. Which one are you, you have one. Which one are you going with?
I have one amendment, and it's 11940.
11940. Now that's what we have. That's I've been reviewing bills in multiple committees today, and I reviewed another one of your bills. Let's see. We have a motion on the amendment, and we have a second on the amendment. You want to split the amendment on the bill?
Yes, please.
All right. There are no objections. We'll be voting on putting 11940 onto the bill. 1159. Please, all those in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. It is on the bill. Please tell us about your amended bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill requires voters to designate a political party on their voters registration if they wish to participate in a party's primary election, and it allows voters to change their party designation at any time using the standard voters registration update process, and it maintains full access to general elections. They would remain open to all registered voters regardless of their party designation. And it really provides a really clean and simple process to accomplish this. New voters would simply designate when they fill in their mail-in or their online registration or at the Election Commission. And current voters, the next time they go to vote in a primary election, they would designate their party preference. And that is about it. That's what the bill does.
Mr. Powell.
Thank you. To the sponsor, could you tell me how this might impact independent voters that might not want to register on the front end for a political party, but then may want to participate in a primary election?
Right. Well, it would not allow them to vote in a primary election. A primary election is the party's election. And basically, the state holds a primary election for the parties because if you've ever seen a caucus or ever participated in a caucus, they can get pretty rough. So at some point, states all over the country decided that they would hold the primary elections for the parties, and they will pay for it. But the catch is you have to use their voting machines, their rules, their organization. It is the Election Commission who runs that election. So we know it is clean, fair, and tabulated honestly. So the point is for the parties is that it's their primary. They want their members of their party to be voting on their nominee for the general election. That's who they want to vote. And so independents, if they don't have a preference, they haven't decided on a political party, they would just sit out the primary election and they would get to vote in the general election on the final candidates.
Mr. Powell, follow up.
I guess follow-up question, and my concerns are that, first of all, I think we've had a long history in this state, and I get there was changes to the law that recently occurred. I think we've had a strong history in our state of voters being able to cross over, who maybe feel like one year they might align more so with one political party, and the next year they might change and align more with another political party. And so my concern here is that this is going to have a chilling effect on people who are more independent minded, registering for a party and having that recorded and being now part of the record when they might have change philosophies. And I think, and I can't speak for your party, but I know for my party, we're always trying to recruit new people into the party and want to see it grow. And my concern here is really that we are now creating logistical problems for people that want to vote and going to create more barriers. So happy to hear your response to that.
The parties, I can tell you, they don't see it that way. I know the Republican Party doesn't see it that way. And don't forget those independent voters, they're independent for a reason. They didn't want to join a political party, but they will get to vote on the final candidates in the general election. So it's not going to have any chilling effect on their ability to vote. It's just that they're not participating in the party's primary election. And that's all.
Follow up.
I guess to that, I've heard from people that might vote in a primary and they really favor one candidate in a primary. And so they might vote in that primary. And then their fear is, not fear, but if they don't like the outcome of that primary, then they might favor another candidate in another election. So I think that's a good practice for people to be able to weigh both candidates, see who the nominee is for that primary based upon the vote. But when you're excluding those types of people from voting, then I think that's detrimental. And I know we have a very low voter turnout ranking here in our state, and to just tell people, hey, we want you to clear a party, and our system has worked for years. I mean, we can argue whether or not systems has issues or not, but the system that we've governed under for a long time has worked very well. I might reference there was actually a member of your party that just wrote, I think it was an op-ed or a story about how he kind of misses the independent thinking voter in our state, the former senator and governor. And so I think this is going to have a chilling effect, once again, on those types of voters who are independent minded, who don't want to be labeled as a Republican or as a Democrat. And they could go either way. And to not have them participate in the primary system, I think, is really detrimental to our democracy, because ultimately we know whoever the Republican and the Democrat's going to be is going to win the election, if you look back in the last 100 years. So anyways, that's happy to hear you respond, but those are my major concerns. So I'm a no on this bill. Thank you.
Next is Mr. Leatherwood.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a question for the sponsor, but also hopefully I can have the indulgence of the committee as I introduce. I've got my mayor of Arlington out in the audience, as well as the mayor of Bartlett. Both. He says, I have to make you stand up. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to. And there's more. I have city administrator of Millington also in my district. So those three cities are in my district. Plus, as an added bonus, I have the mayor of Germantown, which is not in my district, but it's where I grew up. So still have a lot of my heart there in Germantown. So thank you all for being here today. Oh, I'm sorry. So got 5 mayors here. Wow. All right. Who's missing actually? Huh? Oh, okay. Well, Lakeland is partially my district as well. But anyway, thank you all for being here today. And I guess your bill got rolled, so now you've got a reason to come back up next week, right? All right. Well, thank you. Thank you to the committee for your indulgence. And then for the sponsor, you touched on how people could change their designation. Just reading here, in accordance with current qualified voter registration periods. But what are the details? If I've been voting in one primary, I'm registered with one party, and frankly, it happened gradually. Blue Dog Democrats over my lifetime became Republicans over time. How would you, what are the details on how someone would change their party registration?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I actually think that's one of the best parts about this bill, is that it leaves room for rulemaking for our state election commission to promulgate rules on how that would take place. A lot of times when we flesh out every detail in the law, it's really hard for those administrators who work that job every day. And I as former chairman of government operations, I like that there's rulemaking, and it allows the people who actually carry out the law to create those rules so that the law can be fulfilled. So what I have to say is that it would be the Secretary of State's office or State Election Commission creating those rules to help our administrators of election and their employees carry that out.
Go ahead.
So do I understand the process has not been established at this point, but will be established by
Exactly.
rule
By rule.
if the law passes?
Exactly.
Okay. And then rules, regs, they do, unlike the federal government, they do come back to the legislature through government operations. So
That's
we
right.
will have the opportunity to review and either vote those rules up or down or change those rules. Is that correct?
Exactly. Tennessee should be very proud of our process in that. It's a great process.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other, I want to thank you. I just have been dreaming of being a grassroots activist for 40 years, of being able to run as a Republican. And if we can get legislation that at least allows me to register my party affiliation that I've spent half my life fighting for. It would be a very rewarding experience. But do I see any other questions? Hear any other questions? If not, we'll be voting on the bill. And we are voting on, as amended, 1159 by Representative Lynn. Let's open up the board for voting. Please cast your vote. Please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 ayes and 2 noes.
With that, your bill passes out to state and local full. And I think we're about done, aren't we? Is there any other, we're at the end of our calendar. Is there any other comments by members? Seeing none, I get the feeling you're wanting to rush off somewhere. Do I have any objections to adjournment? Seeing none, we are adjourned.